Hi, this is Paul Leclerc, and I'm going to be taking a look at the Nintendo Game Boy Micro. 10 years ago, on November 21st, 2004, Nintendo launched the Nintendo DS, their next step in portable gaming. However, Nintendo was not sure that the DS would meet the consumer standards, so in case the system flopped, they would have another system to look back towards, and 1 year later in 2005, they released the Game Boy Micro. But the DS was a huge hit and overshadowed the Game Boy Micro, which made the Game Boy Micro the last Game Boy in the line. As the name suggests, this Game Boy is micro, but it's everything a Game Boy Advance is. It still has the D-pad, your B and A buttons, along with the left and right triggers, your start and select, your charging jack, your power switch, the game pack slot, which, by the way, will not let you play Game Boy Color games. Sorry, only Game Boy Advance. But it does have a headphone jack, unlike the Game Boy Advance SP. The volume slider is now a rocker switch, and pressing down on the L button at the startup adjusts the brightness, as it shows on the back labeled here. Now, although the Game Boy Micro screen is rather small, it does reign supreme to be the brightest and most well-defined, crisp, clean displays on any other Game Boy console. Probably the most unique feature about the Game Boy Micro is that you have the ability to change faceplates. As its slogan suggests, make it yours, you can swap out faceplates to make your system your design. However, Nintendo does not recommend that you'd play the Game Boy Micro without a faceplate because you're practically showing the bare screen. Gameplay on the Game Boy Micro is fairly alright, but let me get one thing straight. It is not ergonomic. It's probably not the most comfortable game system I'd be playing, but if I were to choose only one game system, it would probably have to be the Game Boy Advance SP, AGS 101. But the reason being is the Game Boy Advance SP is a lot better in design, and it's compact and really feels nice when you're playing games, and it doesn't cramp your fingers as much when you're playing on a Game Boy Micro. For a long period of time, the Game Boy Micro will probably cause some strain to your hands. Wouldn't be surprised if that would happen to anybody. But the Game Boy Micro is probably my recommendation for something you want to play when you're maybe waiting to kill time at a doctor's office, or you just want to get a quick gameplay of Mario Kart. But overall, collectors and novelty enthusiasts alike, the Game Boy Micro is a really fascinating device with its sleek model, bright screen, and overall unbelievable compactability. Comparing the Game Boy Micro to its previous iterations, you can see they weren't joking when they called it micro. This thing is freaking tiny. Heck, the Game Boy Micro is just as small as this Game Boy Advance game pack. It's even smaller than this pack of playing cards, and the width of the Game Boy Micro is smaller than this eraser. Comparing it with the Game Boy Advance SP and showing you how bright the screen is compared to the AGS 101 model, which is surprisingly brighter than the AGS 101 model. They weren't joking, this thing is really bright. Even if I turn the Game Boy Micro up all the way to full blast, once it gets to 2, it's already brighter than the Game Boy Advance SP. I gotta say, kudos to Nintendo for making that innovation. So overall, with the Game Boy Micro's sleek and sexy aluminum body and beautiful compact display, it did not sell so well. Only sold 2.5 million units in its lifetime. Nintendo considered that to be a failure. Not as bad as the Virtual Boy, but did not sell very well. Overall, the Game Boy Micro has a place in my heart, and I think crap.